Hey, it's Triathlon Matt here, and today we're going to look at the kit that you're going to need for your first triathlon. Let's go! So starting off with a swim, the first thing that you're going to need to bring along is your swimming goggles that you're used to training in, so make sure these are with you. You don't need to bring a swimming cap most of the time if you usually use one of these. Most events supply them to you in the colour that they need you to wear to see for which wave you're in or which lane you're supposed to be swimming in. In terms of the swimming lanes, if you're doing a pool event, I use a one-piece tri-suit like this one here when I do a pool event, and then if it's an open water event you're also going to need a wetsuit. This is primarily to keep you warm and safe, and it also has some added benefits to improve your swim position if you go for a full triathlon wetsuit. With that said, when I use the wetsuit for an open water event, I tend to favour a two-piece tri-suit which consists of a top and then a separate pair of tri-shorts. The reason for this is it tends to be a little bit more comfortable, particularly around your tummy. If you have any sensitivity issues with eating and drinking when you're doing an event, that can help. And if you're doing a long distance event like a half Ironman, Cotswold 226 full distance tri for instance, if you need to make a toilet break, it's helpful having the two-piece suit, can make it a bit quicker for you. And that's what we need for the swim. Right, now onto the kit that we're going to need for the bike leg. Most importantly, you're going to need to bring your bike helmet along. Get used to bringing your bike helmet along for any event that you're going to do that involves cycling. You're definitely going to need this, so don't forget it. Next up, we've got bike shoes. I use the clip-in pedals, so I'm definitely going to need these to get the best out of my bike leg, and make sure you do bring them along with you. Next up, we've got a race belt. I prefer to pin my number to a race belt to save my clothes. I can also put the race belt on my back when I'm doing the bike and then move it round to the front when I do the run. Keeps the referees nice and happy and gets your number well visible. So I'd recommend getting a race belt ahead of the event. In terms of the bike that you're going to use, most triathlons are road-based events, so a road bike's going to be best. That said, there's no problems to use a hybrid or a mountain bike. If you are going for a mountain bike, it's worth pumping the tyre pressures up to their maximum pressure and knocking any suspension out. That's going to make you a little bit more efficient on the road. Also, if you're doing a bigger event like an Ironman, they may have stipulations on which bikes you can use. It might have to be a road bike. If you're doing any of the longer distance local events like the 113 or the Cotswold 226, you're probably going to be fine with a hybrid or a mountain bike. It's just going to take you a little bit longer, so perhaps not one for the longer distance. Also, some events are off-road and are actually going to favour a mountain bike, like Cheltenham Triathlon Club's Tri in the Park, and there's also the Tri-Ferris Off-Road Duathlon. That's perfect for the mountain biking. So here, that's pretty much all the kit you're going to need for your biking. Right, and the equipment that you're going to need for your run part of the triathlon at the end is pretty much just your running shoes. We can see these ones I've got here have got elastic laces on. That's a really good upgrade and is going to save you time in transition. They're relatively cheap, and the time that they save you putting them on is really going to be well worth it. So that's a great tip to equip your trainers with some of the elastic quick laces. So this is generally all of the kit that you're going to need. There's a couple of bonus items that we'll look at as well, and the most important additional thing to bring along with you is absolutely suntan lotion, especially if you're doing an event in the height of summer when it's going to be hotter, or maybe you're lucky enough to be travelling abroad where it's going to be very hot. And a special note goes to the long distance events as well, with where the weather can change. So make sure you get some waterproof suntan lotion and put it on before the event. If you need any proof as to the importance of this, check out this photo from my friend Andy. Really great multiple Ironman finisher. Went over to Ironman South Africa, and as you can see, he fell foul on the suntan lotion. So please, please, please don't let this be you. While I'm pleased to say he did still manage to finish the event and had a great time, I'm sure he would have much preferred to have done it with a bit more suntan lotion on. So there's another tip for you. Finally, if you're doing a long distance event, you might want to put a pair of socks on before the bike to keep your feet happier for the bike leg and also the run. And then finally, depending on what the temperature is and the time of year, you might also want to bring a bike jersey along just for an extra layer of warmth when you're out on the bike course and potentially on the run as well. It'll cost you a little bit more time in transition, but if you feel you're going to need it due to the temperature, it's better to err on the side of caution. And that is pretty much all the kit that you're going to need for your first triathlon. So there we have it. I hope you found this video useful. If you've got any queries or questions, please do put a comment in the box below. Hit the like button, and to get the latest videos, also make sure you subscribe and help the channel grow. Catch you at the next event.